Hi friends, today we are going to see about data science process. The data science process is a systematic approach to solving the data problem. It defines a structured framework for articulating the problem as a question, deciding on how to solve it, and then presenting the solution to stakeholder in a easy to understandable way. The data science process have a 6 steps. One is setting the research goal, second one retrieving data, third one data preparation, fourth one data exploration, fifth one data modeling, and sixth one presentation and automation. So first step we have data data science process, setting the research goal. So what is meant by goal? The goal are important because they convert the visions into clear cut measurable targets. Grasping the business goal and context is very significant for the success of the project. So first phases have two things. One is spend time understanding the goal and context of your research. Second one is creating a project charter. So first thing we should have to understand the business or activity for which the data science project is intended to provide solution is very much important to ensure its success. So second one is creating a project charter. So project charter is nothing but a document that lays out the project vision, scope, objective, project team and their responsibilities, key stakeholders and how it will be carried out or the implementation plan. The project charter must have a clear research goal, the project mission and context. How we are going to perform your analysis. What resources you expect to use. Proof that it is an achievable project or proof of concept. Deliverable and measures of success. A timeline. So these are the things the project charter must have. So next one in your data science process is retrieving data. So retrieving data means we are going to retrieve the required data. So where we are going to retrieve the data? So data can be stored within the company or outside the world. So we are going to retrieve the data from these two things. So data within the company means the data available within the company needs to be accessed for its relevance to the project and its quality. The most of the company have applications to maintain the key data that have undergone data cleaning process already. So this data can be stored in official data repositories such as database, data mart, data warehouses and the data lakes maintained by the team of IT professionals. So data mart is a subset of data warehouse and generated towards serving the specific business unit. While data warehouse and data marts are home to pre-processed data. Data lakes contains data in its natural or raw formats. The data may be in raw format. In some cases, the data may be Excel file on the desktop of the domain expert in the company. So next thing is we are going to retrieve the data from the outside organization. So many companies specialize in collecting valuable information. For instance, Nelson's and GFK are well known for this in the real industry. Other companies provided data so that they can enrich their services and ecosystem. For example, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Then other open data providers are data.gov, opendata.europa.eu, freebase.org, worldbank.org, and then aidata.org, openfda.gov. So these are the things are open data providers. So the quality of data must be checked before proceeding the next phases to prevent the problems later. So data correction and cleansing takes up to 80% of total project duration in some scenarios. So retrieval of the data is the first time the data is inspected and most of the errors encountered during the data gathering phases are easy to locate and to solve the data issues. So next step, data preparations. So data preparations is nothing but the process of cleaning and transforming raw data prior to processing and analysis. It is a important steps and involving reformatting data, making corrections to the data, and the combining of data sets to enhance the data. So data preparation has three phases. One is data cleansing, data transformation, combining the data. So first one, data cleansing. So data cleansing is a sub process of data preparation process that focus on removing errors in the data. Data cleaning is a process of fixing or removing incorrect, corrupted, incorrectly formatted, duplicate or incomplete data within the data sets. So we have the two types of error that lead to the data inconsistencies. So one is interpretations of error, then next one inconsistency. So data entry errors like a person age is greater than 300 years, that is data interpretations error. So data sources are against the company standardized values or inconsistencies. For example, class of errors is putting female in one table and when they present the same thing that as a person is female. So another example is that usage of pounds in one table and another table have dollars in another table. So these are the errors we need to fix and clear. So first thing, we have the errors pointing to the false values within one data sets. So what is your first error? Mistakes during the data entry. For example, a person ages must not be more than 100 or more than 150. So these kind of errors are called manual errors. So next one, redundant white space. For example, we have the name Arun. So in between the spelling of Arun, it will be added by the spaces. So these kind of errors are called as a redundant white space error. So next one, impossible value. For example, the weight of the person is not exceeding the value of 100 or 800. So these weights should not be goes greater than the 100. So these kinds of errors are called errors pointing the false values within one data sets. So next one, errors pointing to inconsistencies between the data sets. So deviations from the code book. For example, the person has a manual, so the manual have the values of large data sets against the codebook or against the standardized value. It can be done with the help of set operations. A codebook is a description of the data from the metadata. So it contains things such as the number of variables per observation, number of observation and meaning of encoding with the variables. So next one, different units of measurements. So data is generally intended to measure some physical process, subjects or objects. So very often the database contains the information collected from multiple sources via multiple methods over time. In practice, many databases evolve by merging other pre-existing databases. So different level of aggregations. So what is aggregations? Different level of aggregations. So aggregation is a process of finding, collecting and presenting the data in a summarized format to perform statistical analysis. So data aggregations can help in taking important decision in marketing, financing, pricing the product. Aggregated data groups are replaced using the statistical summaries. So next one, we have overview of techniques to handle the missing data. So what is missing data? So for example, we have the table students. In the table students, we have some values of students marks. So on those cases, we know we are going to omit the values. So omit the values is, it is easy to perform the analysis, but we are going to lose the information about the observation. So second one, set the value to null. So which are the values are not filled in the table, we can set it as a null value. So what is disadvantages? Not every modeling techniques or the implementation handle the null values. So third one, impute the statistic values such as 0 or the mean value. For example, we have the column name age. In a column name age, we have the some of the values are missing values. On those cases, we are going to put the value 0 or we are going to take the average of the age. So this is things we can easy to perform and we don't lose the information while processing. For the disadvantages, can lead the false estimation from the model. For example, maybe the value of a person ages is not the exact value or exceeding the value. So next one, why the error should be corrected. So why we need to correct the error? So not everyone spots the data anomalies. So decision makers make many costly mistakes on the information based on the incorrect data from application that fails to correct for the faculty data. So why we have to clear the data, clear the error data. So by using the error data, we can get the false report. So for those cases, we need to remove the errors. So data errors can point to bugs in software or in the integrations of software that may be critical to the company. So yeah, by using the error data, we cannot able to conclude our details of the output. So those cases we need to remove the data. So next one, combining the data. So we are going to collect the data from the several sources of the organization. So data varies in the size, type, structure, ranging from data sets and Excel files to the text documents. So it is rather that data analysis involves only a single table of data. So different ways to combining the data in the table structure formats are joining, appending and then creating views. So what does mean by joining the table? We are going to enrich an observation from one table with the information from another table. So we are going to combine the informations of two tables. So what is appending the table? So we are going to adding the observations of one table to those of another table. So we are going to combine the data from the two tables so that we can get the four outputs. So what is meant by creating a view? So creating view is nothing but we are going to create a temporary views to process the data. So next one, data transformation. So data transformation is nothing but we are going to transfer the data. So that is a process of converting the data from one format to another format. The most common data transformations are converting raw data into the clean and usable form, converting data types, removing duplicate data and enriching the data to benefit analysis. So first thing, we are going to renaming, moving and combining columns in the database. So those things we need to transforming the data, that is we are going to constructive the adding and copying and replicating data. So we are going to do the three things. One is transforming data formats, next one variable reductions and then dummy variable. So what is transforming the data formats? So transforming the data from one format into the another format to make it suitable for processing is done in the steps. So relationship between the input variable and then output variable can be converted into the linear. So linear means we have the output in a straight line. So first pictures have the linear axis. So while taking the linear regressions, we could not able to fix the values in line. So in those cases we can take the instead of x values we can take it as a log x value. So by taking the log x value it will be fixed in the second picture. So these are the things we are going to do in the data transformation. So next one, variable reductions. So variable reduction is nothing but we are going to too many variables and needed to reduce the number because they don't add new information to the model. For example, we have the gender is converted to into dummy variables. For example, first table have the customer, year, gender and series. So gender have the female, male, female, male, female. So like this we are going to add the two columns. We are going to separate the gender into two columns. One is male, another one is female. So which are the values? We have the female, we are going to put the value 1. So which are the columns don't have the male value? Those values we are going to put the value 0. So by adding the 0 values we are going to tuning the variables, that is means we are going to add the dummy values. So next one, exploratory data analysis. So what is exploratory data analysis? It refers to critical process of performing initial investigations on data so as to discover the patterns. So why we need to discover the patterns? Because we are going to visualize the data, so that we need to discover the patterns. So the graphical techniques are used to gain an understanding of the data and the interactions between the variables. So first step is data explorations is we are going to create a simple graphs. So what is simple graphs? For example, bar chart, line chart, box chart, then distributions graph. So these are the things we are going to create a simple graph. So the next one, combined graphs. So what is combined graph? So we are going to combining the one or more graphs together. So that is combining graphs. So next one, line and brush graphs. So your pictures have the line graph, right? So straight line is falls from the 0.8 value to 2011, and then 2012 we have the point value 0.9 something. Then 2003 we have the point value 0.3 something. So that is called line value. And then another third pictures we have the distribution graph. Okay, so that is your distribution graph. So next one, build the model. So in data science process this is a important step. We are going to build the model. So what is build the model? It is an interactive process. Modeling, it depends on whether to build the classic statistics or some of the recent machine learning methods and the types of techniques to be used. So either way, most models consists of the following maintained steps. So first one, we need to selection of the modeling technique and variable to enter in the model. Second steps, we are going to executions of the model. Third step is diagnosis and model comparison. So we are going to build the model by using these three main steps. So first one, we have the confusion matrix. So we are going to select the model techniques, right? So first thing, we have selected the model confusion matrix. So what is confusion matrix? It will gain the values whether we have the array, right? So here we given the example array 17 33 0 9 405 1 0 35. So this is your output. We have the row values and then column values, right? So row values is indicate 0 1 2 is a predicted value, and then column value 0 1 2 is an actual value. So the diagonal matrix we have the 17 405 and then 5. So 17 0 the confusion matrix predicted, and then 405 values are predicted as a 1, and then 5 values are predicted as a 2. So the confusion matrix is nothing but it will shows how many cases were correctly classified and incorrectly classified by comparing the prediction with the real values. So here the example, it predicted the 0 1 2, that is classes 0 1 2. So diagonal matrix report the results. So next one is so next figures is a holdout sample helps to compare the models and helps to generalize result to the data that model has not yet seen. So multiple error measures are available, and the above figure shows the general ideas on comparing the models. The error measures is used in the example in the mean square. To estimate the models, 80% of the samples are used for training the model, and other 20% of data to test the model. So once the model is trained, we predict the values for the other 20% of the variables based on those for the which the true values are known, and calculate the model error with the error measures. So in nearby the table we have decision tree have the value 0.66, and then linear model have the result of output is 0.64%, and then random forest model have the result as 0.70, and then extra trees we have the value 6.9 something, 0.69 something, and then neural networks have the result is 0.73, and then XG boost is have the value 0.9 79 something, and then light GBM have the value result is 0.74. It should be showed in a model output, that is a line chart, right? So this this is bar chart, right? So this bar chart is displayed the informations about the results of each techniques. Okay, so next step is presentation and then automations. So presentation is nothing but we are going to present the result to the stakeholders and industrialization the analysis process for repetitive reuse and integration with the other tools is done in the step. So sometimes it is a significant to implement only the model scoring of analysis model prepared to sustain the findings. So in other cases, building the applications that automatically update the results, Excel sheets or PowerPoint presentation is to be done. The last stage of data science process is where the data scientist soft skills will be most useful to research the stakeholders effectively. So this is clear explanations about the data science process.